The sun beat down on the weathered sign, the paint peeling like sunburnt skin. Abandoned copper mine, danger, keep out. Ethan scoffed, his boots crunching on the sand. Danger? What danger could there be in a hollowed-out mountain in the middle of nowhere? He was a thrill-seeker and explorer of the unknown, and this was a chance to dig into a forgotten piece of history. He pushed the rusty gate open, the hinges groaning in protest. The air grew colder, a shiver running down his spine despite the desert heat. He was met by a maze of rickety wooden structures, their paint faded to the color of dust. The air hung heavy with a metallic tang that tasted of rust and despair. He walked, the silence broken only by the echoes of his own footsteps and the occasional screech of a hawk circling overhead. He found the entrance to the mine, a gaping maw choked with debris. Curiosity gnawed at him, the thrill of the unknown a potent drug. He pushed aside a crumbling wooden plank, revealing a dark, dusty abyss. He peered down, his headlamp cutting through the gloom, revealing a shaft leading deep into the earth. He descended, the air growing thick and suffocating. He could see the faint glow of his light reflecting off damp, rust-stained walls. The shaft was narrow, the air clammy and heavy with the smell of something ancient and decayed. His foot slipped on loose gravel, and he tumbled down, a dizzying fall punctuated by the clatter of rocks. He landed hard, the breath knocked out of him. He lay there, dazed, spitting sand and dust. Pain throbbed in his ankle. His head felt like it was splitting open. He sat up, blinking away the blackness. He was in a vast cavern. A single, flickering oil lamp cast long shadows that danced on the rough-hewn walls. He was surrounded by men, their faces grim and etched with the lines of hard labor. They were clad in ragged clothes, their bodies covered in grime. They looked at him with a mixture of surprise and suspicion. Well, a gruff voice boomed. New boy, eh? Didn't think they'd be sending any fresh blood this late in the day. Ethan was confused. What's going on? Where am I? The man snorted, his eyes narrowed. You're in the mine, lad. Where else would you be? But the mine... He tried to explain, but the words caught in his throat. He couldn't grasp this reality, this strange dark world. He looked at his hands, his clothes. His hands were rough. His clothes were stained with coal dust. He was a miner. Days turned into weeks. Ethan learned the harsh rhythm of the mine, the backbreaking labor, the constant threat of cave-ins and the suffocating darkness. He learned to swing a pickaxe, to haul carts full of ore, to endure the endless cycle of dust and sweat and exhaustion. He tried to escape. He wandered through the maze of tunnels, desperately seeking an exit. The darkness seemed to press in on him, the silence oppressive. He'd find dead ends or shafts leading to forgotten chambers, but never a way out. He grew disoriented, his memories of the outside world a hazy dream. He started to believe he'd been living in the mine all his life, that the world beyond was just a hazy memory. One night, as he sat hunched over his meager meal, a flicker of recognition struck him. He saw a reflection in the greasy lamplight, a reflection he hadn't recognized before. A ghost of a smile, a flicker of something distant and familiar. He had fallen down the shaft, died, and this was his afterlife. His soul trapped in the mine forever, forced to relive the misery of its past. He looked at the miners, at their weary faces, their calloused hands. They were all ghosts, trapped in this eternal cycle of labor. The echoes of their lives, their struggles, their deaths, all bound to the earth that they mined. Terror and despair turned into resignation. This was his life now. He would live with it, work with it, until the day the mine itself crumbled and the ghosts were finally released. He looked up at the ceiling, the damp rocks dripping with sweat and fear, whispering stories of the forgotten past. He was a ghost in a mine, a prisoner of his own foolish curiosity. The Arizona sun beat down on the mine entrance, but he would never see it again. He was buried not by the earth, but by his own past, forever a shadow in the darkness.